October Red. I'm here with Johnny Nelson at the Buatsi Azeez presser, or should I say the Azeez Buatsi, because Joshua's feels like he's the B list.
You know what? You know when they sat on the stage, so you had Lowell and Buatsi one side, you had Chamberlain and Azeez on the other side. I thought, I wonder if there's an argument about who's sitting where. What's this side saying? Is it a winning side? Is it a losing side? How's it been? But you know what? I think to me, I like it. I think it's a good show. I think it's a good fight. I think Isaac can cause trouble in an empty room. I think he's got Lowell's number. He knows to get, man, I think he's got his number. He knows how to tease him, to wind him up. Lowell is not one to engage directly verbally with Isaac, because Isaac will piss him off. So he's thinking, no. Now, when it comes to the fight, Lowell can punch like a mule kicks. And so that arrogance, that confidence, that showmanship that Chamberlain's got, he needs to put it in check when it comes to the fight. Because if he doesn't, Lowell's going to arse him. And he don't want to lose to him. You know what I mean? Chamberlain has all the skill in the world. He sparred with the best, and when it's come to the top, when it's come to the likes of Coley, when it comes to the likes of Smith, it's come second place when it's counted. Now it counts, so he needs to get out of that second place mentality and think, no, now it's my turn to be first place. For Lowell, he feels as though he's been misrepresented. In all of this, that he doesn't want to fight, that he's running scared. He's pissed off. He don't play them games. He's out on his sleeve, man. So he ain't playing that. He's not engaged. You know what? He come out suited and booted, gloves on like some little bad man. That's what he wants to do. But in doing that, I understand this fight, to me, is so tasty. So tasty. So it's a good fight.
I'm looking forward to it because, like you said, Lowell is a puncher. Isaac likes to go in and trade, and he traded with the big puncher, Chris Billam-Smith.
But that's his problem. Because Isaac likes to have a fight, but he's actually a good boxer. And so this is why he's got to understand, this is why he's come second place when it's counted. And he's a box smart, you win smart. Everybody, listen, you and I can get into a fight. And if you hit me first, and you've got a knockout punch, it don't matter how much skill I've got in the world, but if it comes to the skill of boxing, I have the skill to box you out, beat you. That's what you want to depend on. Fight when you have to fight. Not fight because I like this, I'm comfortable with this. That's the hardest thing. Having the discipline to stick to your game plan, stick to what you do. Fight when you need to fight instead of fighting because it's comfortable and it's easier.
British boxing, the light heavyweights. Ben's managed to secure a fight between Buatsi and Azeez. An exciting fight, a good domestic dust-ups, no belts. Doesn't matter as such, as in world title belts. These two styles. Talk to us about this fight, Johnny. What can we expect from each of the opponents?
So you've got number one fighting number two in the world. How often does that happen? Both of these fighters had a chance of fighting for a world title, but they chose each other. This shows the integrity of the mindset of both fighters, because I could get you a world title fight and you're getting paid a shitload of money, and you've got a chance of winning. These boys want to go into fight for world title. No. They can win, not they might win, and put up a good fight and put up a good show. And that was the offer on the table before when it came to, is it Bivol, to fight Bivol? Oh, they'll put up a good show, they might win, but realistically, these guys are investing in themselves mentally, physically, experience-wise as well, to say when it comes to that fight, I'm going to give my chance of every chance in the world to go in there to expect to win. So I understand neither of them taking a fight. Now, fighting each other, you've got Buatsi, who's always had Azeez's number. And Azeez has always been up behind him. And Azeez knows that. He's had to kiss ass before he can kiss ass. Buatsi knows that. So now that young upstart that's growing up, all of a sudden, he's got trousers on. He's saying, yo, now big boy now, I want to get involved in this. So now they've got to fight each other. So the hardest thing is to respect a man that you didn't really respect in the first place enough to threaten you. I'm not saying Buatsi doesn't respect him. I'm just saying he doesn't respect the skill asset, and he never has, thinking Azeez will have his number to beat him. He's never respected that, but now he has to. And that's the hardest thing, because if you've been thinking a certain way all your professional career about a certain person, and then have to give them respect and look at them as a threat, it's hard. And that's why sometimes if you get into a fight and you're in a fight and you think, and it's hard to change tactic mid-fight. For Azeez, Azeez has always been on the back end of a shellacking when it comes to Buatsi. So he expects, to go in there. He's going in hungry, but he's now a grown-ass man. He's grown up. He's thinking, all right, let's see what you got. Because I'm used to this feeling. You're not used to this version of me. So this one, I love this fight. Because it's like, styles-wise, you could say, a young Evander Holyfield against a young Marvin Hagler. Style-wise, this fight is perfect. Forget about the friendship foolishness, because I'm telling you now, friendship to one side, you can still have an amazing fight and still and be friends before. It might get a bit frosty. I've done it. I boxed two guys out I was friends with. I knocked one of them out. In fact, I knocked them both out. So what I'm saying is, don't be fooled by all their friends. Ain't going to be all that. I think it's going to be a good fight.
Yeah, it's a fight that I'm really looking forward to. We talk about, I think one thing that I wanted to touch on, fair enough, this is a brilliant card, but we talk about the winner of this being a potential opponent for Dimitri Bivol, the WBA #1. These are number two, these are number 1 and 2 in that list. Can we guarantee that the winner of this fight will be fighting Dimitri Bivol? As we know, Dimitri Bivol is a matchroom fighter. Are we going to get the same scenario for a world title shot?
There's a strong possibility. The foolishness, the politics in our game mash up the game itself. And so these guys have put themselves in a position where they can think, right then, you know what? I'm there. I am now mandatory. So if they put themselves in a mandatory position, there's no reason why the fight should happen. Unless there are other narratives, other agendas why it doesn't happen. This is what it's about. And realistically, if you're a fighter, there's many promoters that had affiliations with different governing bodies, WBA, WC, IBF, whatever. So therefore, they don't want you to box for any other governing body because they haven't got as much influence over that governing body. But it gets to the point where certain fighters, they can go, they've got to let them go to say, look, I can't control who you fight. I can't control who your next fight opponent is. So you're on your own. So if you can fight, it's down to you. And this is why. So it's not about the fighters not wanting to fight each other. It's a politics around the fight game that's mashing it up. It's show business. And it's the business that meshes up the show.
I was about to say, I'm sorry to interrupt, but you paused there. This is the issue because as being a boxing fan myself, I don't care about what channel I'm watching the fight on. I just want to see the fight. I know that these guys are putting the blood, the sweat, the tears, the train hard, and then it's getting them hyped up to believe that they're going to have these opportunities, and then the opportunity's almost there, and then it doesn't happen. Us, the fans, get really frustrated, but then imagine how the fighters feel.
Yeah, and that
Being a former fighter, you'll know this.
And that's what I'm saying. And unfortunately, we'd shoot ourselves in the foot when this thing's happened. The whole fight game, every promoter, every governing body, we shoot ourselves in the foot because we're confusing not just the fans. You're confusing people that know the game. Why are you not fighting you? Why is this not happening there? And it's because individuals profit. So when individuals profit, and one way or another, be it business or financially, these things don't get. Boxing is the only sport where this foolishness goes on, and it's gone on for years. And there's only 1 or 2 fighters that can come through, break the mold to say, no, I'm bigger than the belts. There's only 1 or 2 fighters that can do that. There's only 1 or 2 fighters in the history of boxing that have ever been in such a strong position. And that's what it's down to. Up to that point, there's not many fighters that are in a position to say, no, you know what? No, I'm doing it this way. This is what I want. Or had the bottle to do it. Because they've not had the confidence to go out there and think, no, you listen to me. This is what I want. This is what's happening. That's the sport we've been in.
Yeah, it's difficult and it's tricky because it's not the fact of them actually not wanting the fight. It's them actually thinking, what are the repercussions going to be if I go against my promoter, if I dig my heels in and say, no, I want to do this? Because we all know what it's like. If you go against the grain, the chances are you're going to be ostracized, but sometimes it's just like getting that frustration of the fighters across.
Blackball, and but this, listen, it's happened for years. It's happened for years in our sport, and the emergence of social media has made it harder for people to get away with it and have to be report to tax to task and be accountable. So let's just see how it pans out with these two boys. You know, see what happens after that, and we'll just be patient. Patience is everything. But I'm an authentic fight fan. That's what I want to see. That's what I want to get into. And so I want to see fights being made and fighters fighting each other.
And before you go, because I know you've got to go, just your quick summary on Anthony Joshua versus Robert Helenius on the weekend.
I think Anthony Joshua, the knockout showed that the hand-foot-eye coordination, timing is there, the ability is there. Anthony Joshua's problem is Anthony Joshua. He's got to believe in what he wants you, I, and everybody else to believe in. You want him to believe he's the top fighter. He needs to believe that. Not depend on everybody else. He needs to forget about the armchair champions that are saying negative shit about him because they've never done what he's done. So when they say that, don't even ask the question. Don't even ask their opinion. Listen to the people around you. Surround yourself with people that understand the fight game, that have walked your path. They're the ones that should have influence on your mindset and your confidence, not people that are chatting shit about it. The world's full of armchair champions. And so as I say, and I always say to all our sportsmen and women, once you let the negative things being said about you on social media affect you, you're the fool. You're bigger than that. And AJ needs to understand he's a former two-time heavyweight world champion. The success he's had has been ridiculous. So he needs to look in the mirror and think, I can do that. That's me. What am I doing? What am I listening to you guys for? And once that man believes in that, because when you saw in the 7th round when he took him out, boom, everyone was there. But there was bits, there was parts in the fight and before that fight where it's in between, shall I, shan't I, can I, can't I? He can. He needs to believe he can.
AJ versus Wilder predictions?
I don't think it's going to happen yet. I don't think it should happen yet. I think AJ needs to be a fully fledged, fully belief in himself before it does happen, because if he doesn't, he gets turned over. That simple.
And we're going to end it there, Johnny Nelson. Always a pleasure. Thank you so much for giving me your time. Yes. It's very much appreciated.
You are doing an amazing job. You're getting where grass can't. You're everywhere, so you keep
like a virus.
You've got everything going for you, so keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Hi, and thank you for watching October Red Boxing. Like, subscribe, and tap the bell for notifications. You can also find us on Instagram at October Red Boxing and on Twitter, October Red UK. And remember, at October Red, we stay ready.